I'm going to keep this as short as possible because right now I have my son's Andy increasingly not happy, and I have my partner Gabby crying her eyes out upstairs about all of this. Neither of them wanted me to respond to Gary Tomlinson's video he put out a while ago, but I cannot not respond because it makes me out to sound not very good. So I've got some notes on this video. I'm addressing the points, and this is the final. I am drawing a line with this whole thing. My last hour and a half with how upset my partner's been about all of this. This is not what we're about. This is not a simple case anymore of just a business deal that went wrong. I think I have worked my backside off and gone above and beyond for Gary Tomlinson and working on everything that I've done to help him. And up until about a month ago, I viewed him as a good friend. There are elements of what Gary has said that he's brushing past. And I'm going to address them. It's up to Gary if he wants to deal with it in a civilized way to finish our agreement, and if he doesn't, I am prepared to just walk away because I really just don't care anymore. I've had enough of all this stuff, and I have I've had enough, folks. I've had enough. And I've got my girlfriend crying upstairs, who I've been trying to console and calm down for the last hour. Because if I'm honest, she said while we were walking the dogs, she didn't want me to even listen to Gary's response. But I, rightly or wrongly, that's not something that I felt I could do. I felt that for two reasons. One, to see what he was actually saying about me, and two, to see all of the people that commented and to see if any of those people are two-faced. And it turns out some are. But it is what it is. As always, with everything in life, there are two sides to every story. And I am drawing a line under this story right here and now, because I say I've had enough. This is the last I am commenting on it. If Gary wants to come to me and resolve it in a manner, then that's absolutely fine. We will do so and we will move on. But I don't like being called a con man and only in it for the money. Like I said on the show last night, I've done that show now for many, many months for free, for nothing. And I have not made a single penny out of the raging pigeon sport. And I've put my own time and effort into doing so. And I work my ass off for Gary and his race. So that's it. I'm going to address the points, and That's it. Gary says I've been cash strapped. I said last night I was made bankrupt in 2015, discharged in 2016. I have been particularly cash strapped over the last. Gabby and I have been particularly cash strapped since November because the house that we're sitting in costs way more, many thousands than it should, and I feel I was let down by Rob Tomlinson, Gary Tomlinson's son, who offered to do all the work for us. I was promised many times the house would be done on time, and essentially we moved into a building site. That's all I'm saying about it. Gary says that he offered me the 30 birds because out of the goodness of his heart, because I was cash strapped, but he fails to say another element that I think is directly connected, because shortly before he offered this, about 2 weeks before, Gary was good enough to house some pigeons for me that I was going to be auctioning. 70 pigeons from Germany. And one Friday morning, I got a call from Gary saying, I don't know what's happened, but the aviary door's been left open, and there's only 8 pigeons in the aviary. Cut a long story short, 45 ended up being back, and 25 were lost. So the entire auction I did for the client, I didn't make any money on, and I lost money on it. And I thought in my head he'd offered to breed the 30 birds to enter into the one-off race, that part of our agreement, as a way of that mistake that happened. I never said that I would be doing a bonus ball when this happened. I had ideas to try and do one. It didn't work. I can't read some of my stuff here. I've never tried to bully him, and I've told the truth from my side. Again, everybody has their own side of the story. Gary was too busy to call me all of last week, but he had time to post comments on Facebook about me. I felt that his comments about being fooled about the venture pigeons were negative, and there's a lot of semantics going on. I was forced to show the contract because he was saying that he was insinuating I wasn't able to do a syndicate and be involved in the race in any way, but actually the syndicate was always part of the agreement. I don't think I'm a narcissist, but maybe some would disagree. Gary was slightly out on his timings of this Saturday call. I too have the call recorded. I'm not going to put the call recording up there because it's not something that I can do at the moment. I have no problem in anything that I said on the call recording at all. And if people were to listen to it like Gary's offered, they can make their own decision about the call. I feel that Gary's comments about the syndicate and the venture pigeons and all of these semantic stuff prevented me from being able to sell the syndicate spots adequately and therefore make any money out of all the hard work that I've done for Gary. But the fact of the matter is, the phone call is recorded. The phone call started approximately at 8 o'clock, and I had all 3 family members on the line to me. It was a very heated discussion, and all I essentially wanted to say was, your comments about the syndicate have made me selling these pigeons untenable, and I think we should look to part ways for a yeah, Gary, you housed over 100 pigeons for me. Tell the truth. We had your young words for 5 months. Never changed you a penny. Stop picking bits out to suit you. Again, Saturday night, you brought nothing into disrespect. Okay, Gary, fine. Yes, he did house 100 pigeons, but he lost 25 of them that I was due to auction. And I thought in my head he offered the 30 birds as a bit of a gesture for losing 25 pigeons, some of which were worth €500 each. So the reality is this. I finished the phone call at 8 o'clock. I started the phone call with Gary and his family at 8 o'clock. I finished the phone call just after 9 o'clock. As I've said before, while sitting waiting for pizza to be delivered, my car was firebombed in front of my house at 10 past 10. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect money for all the work that I've done. I did the syndicate deal with him for I did the 10 teams of pigeons deal, so he didn't have to put money in his pocket up front to work with me. I did it trying to do it as a win-win for us both. The harsh reality is all the work I've done, the websites, the promotion, all of that stuff, at this moment in time, I've not earned a single penny. And I think it's right that I should. I think the contract we had together was invalid, and I think him making comments and inhibiting my ability to sell those pigeons invalidated our contract. His actions forced me to go public because he ignored me for a week. And as I say, he says he was very busy, but he found time enough to post about this particular issue. He's offered people to listen to the phone conversation, and I too would if I was in a position to. Gary says the police are involved. Good. Because I've got nothing to hide. Like I say, I had a very heated discussion with him and his family between 8 and 9 on Saturday, and my car was firebombed at 10 past 10. Gary actually offered me, I think insultingly, approximately 6 weeks ago, £2,500 for my 10 entries because he was doing it to help me out, and I was quite offended that he only thought all of the work I'd done, including over £1,000 of my own money, was only worth £2,500. I have the exact conversation that Gary omitted parts of in the WhatsApp conversation, and it is here. And he says, "Okay then, Mark, we will adhere to the agreement regarding who does wins and DVDs plus our original contract. You agreed to this on the phone. What happens in your personal life is nothing to do with our agreement. I would beg to differ. Ending the contract 5 months early is your decision. Thus, I feel £3,000 is more than adequate for your work you have done and the services we have given you regarding the housing of pigeons." So he agreed to £3,000, and then 2 hours later, for some unknown reason, that deal was took off the table. And then I said, "You know what, I've had enough. If you choose not to pay me," I cannot play the phone call. Again, always two sides to the story, but I'm telling my side, and this is the final thing. Gary said about a face-to-face meeting on the Monday, but that's not something I wanted to do, and it's nothing to do with being a man, Gary. It's to do with what happened to me on Saturday night and my family. I never asked Gary to give up the rights to the DVD. He was wrong. I asked him to give up the rights to the online sales of the DVD, because realistically that would be too complicated to do. He did back out of the deal. I tread on no one. I do my very best for people. I've given money to people. I've run charity auctions. I tread on no one. It's very easy to keep coming up about my background. Yes, I grew drugs, weed. All of that, I've talked about it many times before, and I don't feel I should have to justify myself to anyone. When I first met Gary and he invited me up to talk to him, I told him everything about me completely, and he's even said to people I was very honest with him and told him everything. I'm not blackmailing or bullying, I just simply wanted paying for the work that I've done, which I thought was worthwhile doing. I'm not trying to play any long con on him. I gave him a contract to do services for him. So that's all I'm saying. I cannot play the phone call recording for legal reasons. I cannot play it. What's not true, Chris Deegan? I will look at some comments to acknowledge them, and then I'm calling it a night. I've had enough, folks. I even said to my partner Gabby half an hour ago, I'm like, with everything, I'm should I just fly pigeons and not care about doing anything to try and do anything else other than just fly pigeons in my backyard? If Gary is the decent man he says he is, he would want to make sure that I have been paid for my efforts and the hard work and the expense that I've been to. I have no interest in selling his DVD anymore. I have no interest in promoting it, and he can have the DVDs with pleasure. I will be cancelling the syndicate online tonight and refunding everybody's money tomorrow. And then if Gary wants to email me a proposed solution, if this DVD is thing that he misunderstood because I only talked about the online version, I don't care about the online, so I don't care about the DVD, I don't care about anything regarding to that anymore. So it's up to him. The ball's in his court to finally finish this business agreement. Life's too short. My relationship with my partner and my family is too short. I thank everybody that's been supportive of me. I don't thank the two-faced people that have been commenting both ways. Please unfriend me. Got no interest. I just said to Gabby before, who didn't want me to do this, because she doesn't want it to keep going on, and I promised her, and I promised myself, this is the end of it. Publicly, this is done. I've finished. I just said, sometimes maybe it's not worth it. But then when I have a TV show like yesterday and I have all of the support that I've got, I think, why should I give up? Just because a portion of people think whatever they think about me and the rumour mill gets going. So we'll see. I do have the recording, people, but I can't play it. And that doesn't mean I've got any issue in people hearing it. I've got nothing to hide at all. But we will see. I will... I'll look through some comments and then that's it. Bill Buxton, you'd rather not tune in. That's absolutely fine, Bill. Good luck and be lucky. Derek Ennis, he's helped me just as much, Mark. He has, absolutely. Up until a month ago, we helped each other. It was a mutually beneficial relationship. But at the end of the day, Derek, I've done a lot of work for him as part of the contract, and I don't think it's unreasonable to be paid a relatively small amount of money for all the work I've done. Tony Hughes, keep my head. I am. As I've said, Derek, I'm not meeting him. I have no interest because of everything that's happened. I thought you would go in, Bill Buxton, denying things Gary said. I'm not denying. I've put my side across. I've wrote some notes on it, and that's it. I'm done. Joey McLaughlin, I'm not making it up. I wrote some notes after I read Gary's video, and that's it. So whatever, think what you want. John Farrell, like I said, I can't play the phone call. I need to explain an unburned petrol canister in the car. If it burned, why is the petrol can not burned? The petrol can was partly burned, John, but my next door neighbours had a commercial fire extinguisher that was on the car within a minute. Luckily for us, they did, and that's why the fire managed to get put out so quickly, hence the reason the petrol can didn't burn. Lorraine Butler, you're right, life is too short and my family are more important. Lorraine Butler, yes, the police, sort it, whatever. Let's get right. You've got to be two-faced to get on in this sport, Kenny. That's a cynical view, Kenny. Pigeons are not worth falling about. Chris Deegan, I don't know what you're saying is not true, but whatever. Yeah, I'm moving on for my own sanity, definitely. Darren Moore. Gary's videos in the Who Dares Wins group of his. I can't play it, John. I cannot play the recording because it's part of a police investigation. But Gary said he's quite willing to play it to anybody who wants to listen, so go and ask Gary to listen to it if people are that concerned about listening to it. Like I say, I've got nothing to hide. So, and that's it, folks. I'm going. This is the last I'm talking about it. I'm not talking about this anymore. If Gary wants to come and email me, and like I said, I've got no interest in his DVD, walk away from that. He wants to make good, and he wants to be the decent man that he says he is, then he can do that, and I'll leave it to him. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'm gone. Catch you later.